Market conditions, bullish in this overall bull market currently. Let's take a look at some of the internals here. We're looking at the overall bullish rank, the bull market rank at 22.09. So we talked about this. Just to reiterate, we're starting to see this curl back up, moving this direction. 20, I was looking back, it's about 24. It's about as high as we've ever been on this. So we're sitting right at 22, and there could be some upside here as we are gaining some momentum. We didn't see a real broad-based participation the last few days. We're seeing momentum spiking here back up into that bullish trend zone. We did not see breadth move much. Buy-sell ratio is also confirming that, and sentiment towards the upper end of that range. Let's look at buy-sell ratio. That is sitting currently right at 0.94. So we're sitting right at that one level and just slightly bearish. You can see that red is just barely above the green line. So that's putting us about flat. It's about this tug of war that's going to be happening right here. And sentiment sitting right at the upper end of that range, starting to curl back a little bit. We've also talked about this pattern where oftentimes when it does spike up, it'll spike up above that 85 range. So we'll see if we get any continuation momentum, and also this halfway point, this 50% line. That also helps in the trend analysis to say, yep, we're confirmation of the uptrend or of the downtrend if we're above that level. So now we're looking for dip buying, looking for pullbacks, and seeing if the markets can hold up in these buy the dip scenario. S&P 500, if we take a look at that chart pattern here, we saw that big move lower on Thursday, and then Friday we had just this little move back up. It actually was a decent move back up. Again, we had pretty broad-based rally with a lot of names coming higher. So we'll see if we end up getting some support right here. The major support area is going to be right around this low point. Let's take a look to see what that number actually is right there. That low is 524.72. So really that 525 area kind of held up as we were talking about. It needed to. It needs to hold this 525 range. There's a little gap right here, and then 520. Then that next stop is still in that momentum zone at 514. So overall bias still bullish. It's still a nice bullish trend profile for S&P 500. We just know that we're at the really extreme upside of that current long-term bull market. We did also see a bond start to tick back up again. Let's take a look there. We're seeing this. This is a more of a bullish pattern right here. It's starting to curl back up. Now, it isn't this longer-term downtrend, but we want to see bonds starting to hold and starting to work this way back up again. We want to see it break up above that 92.50 level. Remember, as bonds are going higher, that means interest rates are going lower. This is the long-term bond, that TLT. The shorter-term bonds are SHY as as far as the ETF, and similar to price pattern here as well. We're watching this retracement and watching to see if we can get any follow through, some support, and moving back this direction. We want to see bonds moving this way. As I mentioned, markets are looking for reasons why interest rates could be coming down, and so is the bond market. So watching that could lead into additional equity gains here. The sector level, the ETF, the sectors across the board, not very bullish. We're seeing only 2 in uptrends. The rest stuck in holds, which are that yellow non-trending move or stuck in the middle of a trend or working its way towards a trend. And we've also got 2 that are in that sell range. Commodities pulling back here. We saw silver pulling back. Let's go back to that 6-month time frame, pulling back to that support area. So be watching for support now on silver, SLV, around that $27 range. We also saw gold back as well, looking for some support around that 215 range, and then also USO oil has been moving toward that downside, and this 382 of this overall uptrend, this trend here, it's working on this correction counter trend. It's working now inside of this corrective zone. That momentum zone is where we're looking for continuation of the trend. This corrective zone, that 382 to 618 box, that's that Fibonacci snap tool. We're looking for either a continuation down, or typically this is where it will start to find some support and then start to reverse if it is a continuation of that overall uptrend. We'll see if that is the case here for USO. Let's jump into the muscle stocks group. Seeing some interesting names here. Coinbase on the top of that list, which is in the cryptocurrency brokerage or transaction space. BLND, nice looking pattern here as well. Momentum zone, that's the 6-month time frame. Breakout, counter trend retest, and then confirmation bar right at that level. The 1-year time frame as well is sitting right at that. Lots and lots of consolidative chop right here. And so oftentimes we do get those whipsaws. We get an attempted move higher, we get an attempted move lower after a large move back up again. So we'll see if this move ends up being a confirmation of a new continuation of that trend. That's a nice bullish profile set up there on BLND. And let's take a look at FIX is another interesting stock. That's been a real high flyer this past year or so, and you're starting to see some continuation there as well. That 6-month time frame holding up nice support on FIX. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.